Welcome to this short 270 Masterclass. This time we'd like to talk about implementing solar panel projects at airports. Sustainable power is on the agenda worldwide. And one of the places that's got often plenty of space to put solar panels are areas, grass areas, airside at airports. Also the roofs of buildings at airports. Whilst these spaces seem attractive for energy generation purposes, which, let's face it, they are, there are a number of safety issues that we have to consider to make sure that we're getting the balance between safety and sustainable energy correct. Now, there's a long list of things that need to be handled in a safety assessment. When they're being placed airside, the Annex 14 obstacle limitation surfaces are a real issue. Reflections from panels. Whilst anti-reflective coatings are very good at reducing the amount of light that is reflected, panels reflect less sunlight off them than water does, and an awful lot less than snow, for example. Nevertheless, particular combinations of the sun, panels and people working airside can give a problem. So we have to think about controllers, pilots, airside drivers, and then also when we're talking about pilots, we're talking about in the air. It could be a VFR circuit at an airport, approach, landing, taxiing, and of course at different eye heights. There's a significant difference between the eye height of a pilot in a business jet and that in an A380. For assessing reflection, specific simulation tools do exist. Electromagnetic interference is another one that needs to be considered. It's not related to the solar panel itself, that's effectively passive. However, the inverters used to convert DC to AC power can, even whilst certificated, have non-compliant emissions that may jam radio traffic. Experience has shown that the area between 100 and 200 megahertz is an area where many inverters do have non-compliant emissions. And of course, between 100 and 200, there's an awful lot of aviation VHF. This is an assessment based on reviewing certification reports versus the frequencies in use at your airport. Don't forget things like vehicle access. Can the fire brigade still meet its time targets to reach all parts of the airport when there are now suddenly thousands of solar panels are placed at the airport? Other things to think about for vehicles could also be the fact that vehicles behind the panels might be masked from a surface movement guidance control system. Therefore, they are invisible to ground radar. Therefore, you need specific procedures during low visibility procedures. Flora and fauna are also particularly interesting things to consider. Your grass management pattern to keep birds away is also something worth considering. It's not really safety, but the reflected noise is also a potential issue that may need to get looked at depending on the orientation of the panels and the configuration of the airport's runways. So once we got all of these things assessed, there is a balance to be found. We can space them to allow access. We can space them so that we don't have overlapping shadows to reduce energy. The prime mitigation, apart from not placing the panels, is adjusting the orientation and elevation of the panels slightly away from optimum, so you'll lose some energy generation, but you may well significantly reduce the amount of reflection that is created. And outside the specific aviation scope, the electrical infrastructure is of course an important part of the project. There are few requirements actually documented by aviation regulators for the placement of solar panels. Best practice, as we see it, is contained within the safety assessments that we are discussing here. There are many successful examples of solar panel projects at airports producing significant amounts of sustainable power. As a very last point here, this is an aerial photo of the large solar panel system at Groningen Airport in the north of the Netherlands. 62,000 panels were eventually placed by GroenLeven on behalf of the airport. They are not all shown in this aerial photo, as construction was ongoing at the time. But please feel free to get in touch to discuss why the layout of the panels is as it is. It's all got to do with the safety assessment elements that we've been discussing here in this short masterclass. So thank you for watching. That was it for this one. If you're looking to make contact with 270 Aviation, all of our local offices have contact details listed at the website 270.com. Thanks for watching.